Team, welcome to Corey's ISO coaching. I want to take you through some hot tips, some hot ballet tips that you can do from the comfort of your own home. So today I wanted to talk about our journey up into point, and that's the same journey whether it be in parallel, sixth position, whether it be in our fifth position, our second position, it's all the same. But today I want to talk about rising up to point from first position. So first of all, we start off in our first position, and everyone's first position is different. Our level of degree of turnout is always going to be different from the person next to us. So the one way to check that you're not forcing your turnout is to check that when we're in our first position, whether it be a small V or a wider V, when we do our plie, we want our knees to head over our toes. So we don't want any of this action where we're forcing our turnout. When we plie out, our knees are going facing inwards. So just bring it in if that is happening, and make sure from the top of your legs are really, your knees are directly going over the top of your toes. So that's our first thing to think about. So once we're in our comfortable first position that really suits our turnout, the journey from point really begins at the top of the legs, going all the way, pushing through the floor to our toes. So we're going to reach up and we rise up, just taking the heels off the floor. We want really pulled up, stretched legs, no bending of the knees, and we rise up onto point. So every time we come off point, we've really got to reach up very tall again. It's like we're lifting up out of our shoes to come down to what we call a three-quarter point, to our demi point, and back down. So I feel the burn with that already, because you really want to be working the legs the entire time. So again, we're going up and we're rising up out of our shoes, really rotating from the tops of the legs. You never want to feel like you're sitting down in your pointe shoes. You're always lifting up really tall. And you don't want to have any banana backs. You want to be in a nice neutral spine. There. So one good thing to practice too, just for a strength exercise, is to be coming down to that three-quarter point and then pushing back up with those toes. Coming back into a three-quarter point and pushing back up. Now that's a really good strength exercise to get the toes moving, that later on everything we do, whether it be a pose arabesque coming down, our jumps, it's a really, really important one. So that's one I really recommend practicing at home. One other thing I really like to do in the first position is rising up, and besides that strengthening exercise, that three-quarter point that's really going to help with our control, is just rotating the legs in and out to really work the back of those legs for our turnout. So this is also something really simple you can do, and you're just rotating into parallel and rotating out. And if you do this a few times, you will eventually get a really nice burn in the back of the legs. Now this is another exercise that I found has been very handy in isolation, just to get those turnout muscles working whilst we don't have the space to do the big steps. So these two things are a really cool thing to work on, to get the strength in the feet, to be confident in our pointe shoes, so we're never sitting down or having bent legs, we're pulling up, we're getting the strength in our toes and the strength in our turnout. Hope this has helped, guys. Something simple to do in isolation.